that game for the third time. We're in this the third time. Anyone out there that has done any streaming or live recording or even not live recording like we're doing here, everyone, I don't care who it is, has started something without the audio running. Luckily, James was paying attention and noticed we had zero audio, and we were able to stop ourselves before we recorded the whole thing. We didn't get far.
The audio would have been great for the audio podcast,
Well,
but the YouTube video
part, like I have that clip
have
so
had
here,
nothing.
but we had some good banter right there. But the YouTube video,
I've got no banter left. I'm over it. I've got no banter.
Yeah, James is in a grumpy mood.
If you were the whipster, the bitch of this project, we'd probably have a lot more done. But you keep trying to make me the whipping horse.
You took it on, okay? Like, here's the thing. I gotta put this out there. I'm gonna give James credit here. He has a bias for action that is incredible. You say something, and then the next day you got 17 accounts made. You're switching stuff. You read that like it's amazing. But you also sign yourself up for a lot more. And I'm just here like, well, if he wants to run with it, I'm going to let him do it because I know how much work it is. So if you're going to run with it, I'm going to let you do it until then. But we have audio. We're getting into this.
Episode 30.
Episode 30. For you, like you said, and what, first take, second take, third, fourth, how many takes are we into now?
I don't know. Second take. This is what I expect to happen tonight. Andy has left the Discord.
What happened?
I said, we're going to look and see our new fan, Andy. It'll be Andy has left the Discord.
Oh, yeah. 30 episodes in. James, you're about 200 episodes in. I think I've got probably 150 podcasts underneath my belt there. So we're getting up there. We've been doing this for a while, people. So we really appreciate anyone that's going to follow us at this point or watch or listen or anything like that. We know how hard it is to retain people and build something when you got day jobs and all of those things. But you didn't come here for that. To listen to us whine about how difficult it is to talk about video games. You came here to listen to us talk about video games. So let's get into that. Call of Duty news. And of course, we're going to start with Call of Duty because why not? That's the game. That's really the game everybody's talking about. It's the game we play probably the most, even though I have rage quit it about 4 times.
This week.
No, I didn't rage quit.
No, this week.
No.
Did you quit last night, or you just told your teammates to kill themselves?
No, they just needed to kill themselves. There's no hope
in the game. In the game, people. In the game. That he in the game.
Yeah, please don't take that seriously. They are dear friends of mine. I would never wish any of that upon them. But in the game, if I'm not in there, they don't have any hope. And I'm not saying that they'll tell you that. There's just no chance. You might as well just commit suicide and let's move on to the next match. We were getting some weird lobbies last night. And in all honesty, some super weird drops. Like, we were dropping into our normal spots and nobody was there. And then all of a sudden you'd have like 6 teams. And we're like, where the hell did they, like, it's hard to get to where we drop. I'm like, where the hell these guys come from?
Yeah.
It was just very, very interesting night. I also had the second worst play I've ever seen happen last night, but we'll leave that for another day. I'm not going to put anybody under the bus just yet. So we did get our community update. We haven't gotten patch notes for the new season, but we did get the blog post that they like to put out there. And James, what's your favorite part? Since you to say it again,
the gulag.
Part of these? No.
Oh, my favorite part is that they always put a purchase button. I think that's hilarious.
Just in case you have not purchased.
Just in case you're
reading their
out.
blog. Like, who's checking out season 2 community update that doesn't have the game? Like, I just want to know how many people go to this blog and like, you know what? If these things change, I'm definitely going to be buying it now. You wouldn't even know what the changes would be that you would want to happen. I guess you could watch a lot of people play it.
Yeah,
I mean, that's true now, but still. All right. We've already had some of these come out in different tweets that we've seen over the last 4 or 5 days since they kind of announced this was going to be happening.
Yeah.
Or since they announced the delay, I guess is what we really should say. And everybody went nuts on that. First off, like always, crashes and stability.
It's every update. It just cracks me up.
We're working on crashes and stability. And people out there, listen, if you've done any software development or you've done anything that's multi-scale with lots of servers running and up and down, some of these problems aren't even theirs. Like it may be the hosting that they have or someone else. Like it's stuff that they can't fix.
Yeah, and the more things that they host with cross-play, I think that harder that it gets.
Yeah, this is not easy stuff that they're doing, especially when it comes to that. Now, the overall stability of the game, it's not been bad compared to the launch.
Yeah.
The launch was horrific. It was really bad. But again, they pushed the launch to hit a date. They're moving this date back. People scream at them when they don't push the date and it has a bunch of stability issues. They shift this date. And people go nuts because they pushed it because they want to fix some stuff. So you're never going to make anybody happy. Welcome to Call of Duty community. Anyway, this is one of my favorite ones here right off the bat, this audio one.
Yeah, please explain some of this to me because they went into depth and I was like...
So it's this occlusion issue has been called out by so many people. So many people have called out, I think it's an occlusion issue. I think it's an occlusion issue. If you don't know what occlusion is, when you build game, like when you're building a game, you have different material types in the game. So you have like stone wall or wood floor or all of these different types that you have, and you give them like an audio occlusion. So it will occlude that audio. So it will not have that audio in it. So like footsteps. So if it's like a cinder block wall, you're not going to hear footsteps as clearly as if it was a glass wall in front of you. You know, so it's different things. So they finally have figured out that these occlusion issues that they would normally put into a wall material or certain materials are showing up on random objects in the game, such as like a pile of trash or a rag or a countertop. That's it. So random spots in the game, all of your audio just drops and you can't hear anything. So that time you're just like, how did he sneak up behind me? There might be a bush out there that has this occlusion attached to it, which would be like cinder block wall. So rather than hearing the bush rustle, you hear nothing, no footsteps whatsoever. So like they say, for example, a wastebasket that was tagged with the incorrect material may have occluded a sound like it was behind the wall, making a sound more difficult for a player to hear. So that's like exactly what I'm saying there. Like this is, I don't even know how they're going to go fix this because they're going to have to go look at every texture file that they have and figure out what it's tagged and make sure all these tags are the right for the amount of audio that they have. So
well, that person just quit.
Yeah, I
mean,
they
gotta hire a new person.
It says this issue is being addressed in season 2 update, and we'll continue to work on fixes and new audio features to better our players' experience. So it's like we're not going to fix it. Like this is a big problem. I kind of want to point that out. It's a big problem. It won't be fixed in season 2. They're not saying they're going to fix this. They're saying they're working on it. They're saying they probably have found some of the places that this is happening. But think about going through every texture that is across the entire map and figuring this out. But we at least have them admitting there's an audio problem. We at least have them admitting that there's a change that needs to happen, and they seem to know what the problem is and are going to work on fixing that issue. So huge shout out to whoever figured this out, because it's been like a long time coming, or whoever finally decided for them to admit that this was a problem. Like, I don't know which one it is. Have they always had this problem?
Yeah, I'm gonna have to watch Big Rob Energy's CEO, Activision CEO videos that he puts out to see how he wraps it up.
Yeah, I don't know, but cool things there. We have some UI changes, improved navigation, organization of the camo menu. Thank God. If you're a camo grinder, I started becoming a camo grinder. I really hate the solos in this game, so if no one's on and I'm playing, I'm actually going after camos now. So the camo menu sucks. Trying to go through it and find camos, you like
all of the menus
side
suck.
And it jumps over. It's just I like how they put this more polished social tab. Like, what are you polishing? A turd?
Yeah,
like, just
I
throw it
don't
out and start over.
know.
Like, come on, guys.
But then everything else is how can we make sure our players can navigate through the things that cost money easier?
Yeah, and then everything else is like new my bundles, quick equip for battle pass, and my bundles in the store. I do kind of like the reticle previews. That's kind of cool, you know, to see what the reticle looks like rather than you buy it and you don't know what it looks like. So that's nice. Improved clarity of attachments, blocking, logic, and gunsmith. Not even sure what that is. And many more bug fixes. Like, and they always end with that. And we have so many other bugs that we're gonna wait for the patch notes because we don't feel like filling it in right now. Okay. And then blah 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 blah. More UI stuff. I'm not gonna keep going in there. Experience. Improved after action report audio. I didn't know there was bad audio.
No, with audio now.
Oh,
I don't think
audio.
I think now
so
it'll have like it'll be a dramatic. It'll be a dramatic screen after action report. It has some cool audio.
We don't have the crazy screaming at hackers and stuff right now.
Yeah, the play again feature is going to be great.
Yes. So again, this is not like.
It's just quality of life.
It's just quality of life. Like, this should have been there from the beginning. I don't know why they launched every one of these battle royales without it. And then challengers, battle pass, weapon progression,
just bug fixes
for inconsistencies. Yeah. That's fine. Weapon balance. We're not going to get this until the patch notes, but I'm going to tell you they're going to nerf most of these.
The RPK
LMGs. Yeah, the LMGs are getting nerfed to hell. And then they'll bring up some of the other lower end weapons that no one uses, and we'll just flip the meta over.
Back to 1v1. I can't tell you how much I'm excited about this. I wish they could change it today.
You have been complaining about. I will say, if there is one thing you have been the most consistent on, it has been your hate relationship with the Gulag.
Yeah, I hate it.
Hands down, just hate it. And I don't mind when they take an attempt. Like, I think we've said it before. Like, we like when they make attempts at changing.
They tried.
Things.
It's fine.
But like, be ready to roll this back. And it seems like they had a lot of stuff ready to go because they're not. They're. I mean, scrapping the jailer. I mean, the whole thing.
Yeah, it's going to go exactly to the way it was in all of Warzone 1. The difference is here, normally we get a new map when they go into the next season. It is going to be the same map. They've just tweaked it. Map. Yeah, well, they've tweaked it to fit solos, which I think is smart. So I assume maybe a shrunken down version, or they cut half of it. I'm not sure, but it's going to be the same map. And then later through season 2, I think we'll get a new dedicated 1v1 map for future seasons. I don't know if it'll be in season 2 or season 3.
We're also updating.
Yes, they're gonna make some other changes. Yeah, they're gonna instead of just pistols, you're gonna have a lot of other stuff. The other thing I find interesting is that there will be things to still loot, but it'll be in a different way. You're gonna have a lot more cash laying around that you can pick up. You're gonna get a cash reward for winning the Gulag when you come back. But to find more ground loot of cash, I think is a high risk, high reward as you're running around trying to kill the other person plus get the loot.
And I think that's how it should be.
Mm-hmm.
Like, if you're going to take the risk and you get it, you should have that. And yeah, I think that's cool. I think it's, updated pool of assault rifles, machine guns, submachine guns, light machine guns. I really do like that. So as the circle progresses, it seems like you're going to get better weapons.
Yeah,
I think is the kind of what they're saying here. So depending on when you die is going to depend on what kind of weapon that you're going to get inside the Gulag. So if you die real quick, you probably just have a pistol because that's what you had anyway.
If you die late game, you might get a light machine gun.
Yeah, light machine gun.
Which I find that interesting because before in the Gulag, it was just for this entire 2 weeks or this week.
Random ground loot.
It was random ground loot, and you were stuck with those 2 weapons for the entire week.
Well, remember, you used to you fight with those weapons and not even come back in with them.
Yeah, that's true. I think it wasn't until maybe late Verdansk, maybe even Caldera, before you started coming back with your weapon.
Late Verdansk, yeah. It was in Verdansk you started, I believe, like after the nuke. It's before and after nuke.
Yeah.
For me with Verdansk on my love-hate relationship with that map.
Now, some of these other things coming up, the cash economy, we all knew that was coming. They've been saying that for a while. No more $100 minimums in the cash registers. It's going to be $500, and then piles of cash on the ground.
So here's what I don't understand is that in addition, cash can be acquired via ground loot, containers, and white stronghold boxes, but they're not going to be from basic and legendary supply boxes.
Yes.
So what the hell is ground loot and containers? Are they talking about like the the bags?
Well, ground loot is just the cash on the ground.
Yeah, and ground loot I get, but like containers. What are we defining containers as?
I guess the bags or maybe caches.
Okay. All right. I could live with that because that's kind of like what I didn't really understand. I'm like, the other thing is they didn't talk about anything, or maybe, okay, this distribution should make it quicker. They didn't talk about like moving the resources around the map at all because it's very centralized. So all the cash registers are very centralized, and that's one of the issues. Is depending on where the circle goes, regardless of they make more, each like spot have more money in it, it's still hard to just find it anyway.
Yeah.
So they need to do a more distribution. Maybe they're going to do that with the ground loot and the bags. Like it'll be more in there. I don't know.
Yeah.
But we'll see.
Loot and inventory. Are you excited about this change?
This yeah, I mean it's just going back to how we did it before. I think it's gonna
not
help
exactly though.
Players.
I think from what I read of this, and you can tell me if I'm wrong, just the original backpack that you get to start the game right now, that's what you're gonna have the whole game.
Yes,
there's no medium or large. There's no medium or large, so you can still kind of play with your inventory in your inventory a little bit, but of course all the loot, when you kill someone, there's no backpack to look through.
Oh yeah, I'm sorry. I was talking
out.
about like the pinata looting. Like we're going back
to
pinata
back to pinata looting, but no medium large backpacks. And I find it a little bit interesting, funny, not so funny. You can tell whoever did the backpack system with the medium large, they were excited about this change because they're like, we were excited to see the new backpack system give players the agency. Like they're sad.
This is the battle royale specifically.
Correct.
This
yes.
is not DMZ. This is just battle royale specifically.
But you could tell that they're disappointed that people aren't super excited about it.
Well, I think, but here's my issue with that is inventory systems are those things that you either get right or get wrong. Half of the people are going to like it, half of the people are going to hate it. Like I didn't despise the inventory system, but I'm going to be completely honest, and you know this, I don't really use the inventory system.
No, it drives me
nuts. So like
nuts.
I'm the worst out there to even like ask about it because I'm not picking shit up like
10 minutes into the game, I don't have any plates. Bro, I have 25 plates. How do you not have any plates?
Because you guys don't get into fights. And you don't lose your plates,
no. You don't stack plates. You just get your you fill up your vest, and then you get your 3 extra plates, and then you're done.
I prioritize ammo over my plates because you guys carry plates. So what's the point of me carrying plates? I have ammo.
You never ask for plates. You just go, oh, I'm out of plates. I can't fight this guy. Now you guys are on your own.
No.
Or if you carry at least one extra stack.
Whatever. And here we go. We're gonna go into this. Like this is the guy here that again.
No, listen, don't deflect. This is the one thing
I'm not deflecting. I'm just saying I'm not the one to like have an opinion here. Because I haven't really used the system the way it's supposed to be. Like I'm not discrediting. I'm like, okay, cool. I mean, it helps me because everyone else is gonna have to play like me more.
True.
But it still doesn't have anything about stacking, and you're still going to be able to stack within your own.
Correct. Yeah. You just can't get 10 more.
But that large
slots.
one where someone's carrying like 19 streaks and stuff like that, like we really need to address that. I don't think I saw that in here, but we'll move forward. Loadouts. They went into like a lot of this. The big thing here is just customizable perk packages.
But they're rolling them out slowly.
And I don't really understand what that means.
One at a time.
So, like, you can customize one perk. Like, why?
I imagine it's going to be very limited.
Do you think, like, Bird's Eye is just going to be removed? Like, nothing's saying we're removing Bird's Eye, which is broken as hell. I mean,
well, they did address that. They did address that a couple days ago. They said it is a bug. Basically, all Bird's Eye is supposed to do is when you pop a UAV, you get advanced UAV.
So no. You got to use the right terminology. They have not addressed it. They have informed us that it is broken.
Yes.
Addressing it would mean they would fix it or have a fix or anything like that.
They said a fix is coming at season.
Definitely
they
broken.
said season 2 it'll be fixed.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, we'll see.
And then basically they just talk about there will be 2 loadout drops now, one at the end of the first circle and one at the 5th circle. So we get 2 of those now, and they made it seem like it might not necessarily be in a straight line like they are right now.
That's one of the things that I was definitely asking for. Like scattered loot would be super nice.
And then buying a loadout or buying your guns is still staying exactly the same, except they talked about a significant, slightly reduced price.
We'll have to see what that. I mean, pricing is always, we'll see, because they're making a money change here. So I think we're going to see a reduced price, and then that'll probably be one of the first things to be fixed in a hot patch if it seems to be too low or not too low. So we'll go from there. All right. And then we have additional changes. 3 plate vests, James.
Back to just the way it used to be.
Finally. So does any of this feel like we're just saying, you know what, let's just roll out our first Warzone with our first code base and start from there?
No, listen, here's the problem is there was some quality of life changes that they, again, you didn't play Blackout, and when they went from Blackout to Warzone, hold on,
but when they went back to Blackout,
I'm saying when they went from Blackout to Warzone, they made a lot of quality of life changes when it came to having a 3-plate vest. The movement, the loadouts, and all that. And when they came to Warzone 2.0, it's like what they perfected.
Okay, you're skipping over an entire
they got rid of.
thing. I'm talking about going back to Warzone 1. It feels like we're trying to get the code base and everything back to where Warzone 1 was at after the first couple of quality of life changes that they made with the new movement system. That's all we're going back to here, people. That's it. Everything we're doing is we're just changing it back to the way it was before, because none of our changes hit.
Yeah. Sprinting while plating is coming back.
Sprinting while plating was back.
But
sprinting while busting through doors is back.
Yeah.
Pretty soon slide canceling will be back.
No, I don't think they're going to make too many of those changes. The jumping up and down with no ADS, I hope they don't change stuff like that.
I mean,
but they're not mentioning it.
We don't have patch notes here, but I'm saying this feels a lot like we're just moving back to original Warzone after the first couple of hot patches to fix some quality of life things. Buy stations. What do we got on buy stations?
Changing the spawn points of buy stations, which I think is good. And also the loadout drop markers have unlimited stock at all stations, which is great because I played earlier today and multiple times I was playing with US Bobber, and we went to a buy station and someone had already bought the loadout and they were kind of like, oh, I didn't know those were, limited. And next thing you know, we're getting mowed down. So,
and then certain ones have like unlimited like certain things unlimited in some, certain things aren't unlimited in others, but they're not always the same. So you don't know which ones to go to. So every time you're going to it, you're just guessing. Like, I'm hoping this is here. Good quality of life change. I think if you have enough money to get a loadout drop and you get to
buy station,
you should be able to get your loadout. Like, kind of the point of the game, guys. Like, again, here we're changing game-breaking gameplay regular gameplay changes. Like, we should never have changed these in the first place. Strongholds. I guess you're just gonna get more stuff from strongholds, really. Is what we're really talking about. And then a revamp in the AI.
Better reward.
So which we need. I mean, the AI is like freaking crazy aimbot, and they stick on you for a long period of time. So that's basically the battle royale changes. What do you think? You think it's enough? We don't have the patch notes, so there could be more inside of each one of these, but as we're seeing right now, do you feel like...
I will say this. If they changed at least a couple of the snipers to one-shot downs, I would be happy with everything that they're changing right now, and we'll just have to play it.
Yeah,
that's the only glaring thing that's sticking out to me.
No, that's not the only glaring thing that's
for me.
The most glaring thing sticking out is they've got to get the TTK issue under control. So we really need to look at weapon tuning, and that still goes with your sniper is weapon tuning. Like, the tune of the weapons is the thing that they do not have.
But again, I think you're going to see that in the patch notes. I mean,
no, we'll get that, and I mean, again, they're saying we need to go into it. We've never basically they're going to do some tuning. Whether or not they do that, and it's been bounced around that they're going to go to this, like, add 50 health to the pool. That's not the fix, guys. Like it's really not the fix. The fix is just is very simple on headshot multipliers. Like, the headshot multiplier is so high that you land one, or and then you land a follow up. You just melted a dude.
Yeah, exactly.
You shouldn't have that. And again, that's all dependent on range. Like the range right now, that multiplier is very high. Flinch is an issue. Like if you don't change any of those kind of things, it doesn't matter if you have a one-shot sniper down. Like now you're gonna have snipers that have 0 flinch that can one-shot you. It just flips the problem to the other side.
Yeah,
it doesn't actually balance the game out. So like you have to go from one end to the other. You can't just flip it. Like it's a pendulum swing. We got to find the middle ground. And maybe we have to swing over to snipers being the meta for a little bit before we can find where the middle is. Okay, I can understand that. You kind of have to start swinging the pendulum back the other way to know where the bottom of it is. But just so you know, when they do that, if they don't fix all the other stuff, we're just having the same problem on the other side. And they still haven't stated anything about plating. Not, if you can drop them with one shot and they fall behind on the building and they're holding 17 revives, like, does it matter? Like, we're just changing that style of just being able to get downs rather than doing it with plates. They just do it with revives now. And I have unlimited stock. They didn't say that was unlimited stock, but still, exactly. You got guys that have 7 revives in their bag. So DMZ stuff we'll just kind of go through real quick. Nothing super crazy here, and I'm kind of upset with that.
Well, maybe it's more than you think, because enemy tuning, they're going to adjust the AI because the ramp of difficulty got kind of crazy. You could get easily overwhelmed. That is true. If you go in by yourself, you running from one group AI, you jump in, you're done. There's nothing you can do to get away from them.
No, there isn't.
They're rebalancing the spawn points, which I think is important, because anyone just going in there to camp people, including myself, I'll go in there when I get bored and just sit up on a spot and snipe people. I know exactly where I spawn. Within 5 seconds, I can run and find a spawn point and start sniping at them immediately.
That's a part of some of these extraction games, though, man.
Yeah, but the spawn points are they're too close to each other, I think, and because it's just a big circle around the map. Yeah,
there's too many people on the map.
Mission difficulty tuning, again, they're just going to adjust some of the way they scale up the missions, fixing crashes and all that. The biggest thing, and I went over to Twitter and checked this out, and people are freaking out. Seasonal refresh. I'm going to read this, and I want you to tell me what you think. All new missions are coming to Season 2, including a refresh of your current faction mission progress and an inventory, contraband and keys, reset. An inventory reset, a faction mission progress.
It's just a Tarkov wipe.
We will be detailing all the need-to-know intel for DMZ ahead of Season 2 in an upcoming blog. Now, all the Tarkov players were like, yeah, it's a wipe, no big deal. All the people that don't play Tarkov are immediately, I will never play this game again if my progression is reset. I've been grinding. I'm almost done. Like,
but they don't understand.
One, it's in a beta.
That grind. But what they don't understand is that grind
is the game.
To the end of the game, and you're done. That's the whole point of the game.
Yeah. I do think, the nice thing about Tarkov, and even Tarkov has said this current, even with their newest one, that current grind to get to Gamma case or whatever, they're like, that's not their overall game.
When you're doing a game that is built on character progression, let's say, like you're building up to something, and in this game it's your faction missions and your progress in the game and things like that. At some point it resets. World of Warcraft is another great example of that. Like, you play an entire season of World of Warcraft. You have the best gear you could possibly have. You're decked out with legendaries and purples, the best. You're min-max to the T. New expansion comes out, that gear can't even beat a regular level mob. You
Console
start
players,
over again.
Destiny 2 is exactly the same way. New season's about to launch and you start over.
That's the whole point of the game, is to continue to start over and build your character up again from that progression point in the new content.
Yeah.
So as long as new content's coming out, which it doesn't sound like there is, it sounds like that's what I'm saying. It sounds like this is just a lot of tuning.
Well, it says because they did talk about the missions. They are changing some of the faction missions and stuff, or adding new things. So my question to you is, Ender, do you read this as a complete wipe like Tarkov, or do you read this as the only thing is your contraband and keys will reset?
The only thing that you can wipe is the contraband and faction.
So as much as people hate it, I'm assuming you're agreeing with me that this is the right move. They need a wipe.
Yeah, this is the game. Like, this is what I expected.
Yeah, I think that's what's funny. Every Tarkov player is like, oh, this is what I thought it was going to be. But
I think this is at a faster pace than like a Tarkov wipe. But it doesn't take you as long to get there.
Yeah.
So you kind of have to look at it that way. And the other thing is, like, they're wiping contraband and keys. Okay, that's all you can collect in the game. contraband and keys. So yeah, you start over, you build back up through the factions, they make some changes, and then guess what? When the season's over with again, you do it again.
Yeah. And you hope that they keep improving on their mission. What you hope is that when you have a wipe, they start changing the way the missions go, and they start adding better stuff.
Adding stuff and different places to go, or they have to have a progression system that's level and ranking system like a World of Warcraft, where you go from 1 to 10 in the first one, 10 to 20, 20 to 30. But that brings into like what happens when you have someone that starts at 1. He can't go up against the 30. Like, you have to wipe that.
If you're a DMZ fan and you've never played any other kind of extraction, I don't care if it's Vigor or Tarkov or whatever you may have tried or not tried. If I will say this, DMZ is a good, solid base of a game for a AAA developer. They're for someone to really take a crack at it. I think they've done a good job. Now, if you think DMZ is a complete game at this point and you don't think there's much they need to do except adding more missions, you're crazy, because it should just be the tip of the iceberg right now. This game needs to expand dramatically if they expect it to
and I
grow.
was expecting something dramatic here, but it seems like we're, again, I'm going to stand
by. Well, there's a new
getting...
exclusion zone coming.
Okay.
So.
All right. Cool.
That's what it says.
I'm so excited.
So you'll have 3 options to go into when you go in.
Okay, I didn't even know there was a second option because
that's that building 21. So.
Okay, building 21.
All right, multiplayer. This is your baby.
Yeah, audio. So same issue. Occlusion is happening there. So glad to see that's going to be fixed. Perk balancing, pretty standard. Specifically the ghost perk is they're going to be looking at. I don't really have any much to say here.
Weapon balancing.
Okay, same thing. Hardcore mode coming back. James, that's your mode.
That was my mode. It's replacing tier 1 mode.
Tier 1's gonna be gone. Hardcore is coming back. So I kind of like that. I like tier 1, but
I think people just I think people just like hardcore was such a thing. You know, you played core, you played hardcore, and that was it. And I think calling it tier 1 or something. It was kind of like Halo changing it from SWAT to whatever nonsense they decided to call their new SWAT mode.
I don't really know what the big difference is between tier 1 and hardcore was. I mean, you have no mini map, one shot kills. Like, was there anything really different between the two, or just a name?
Maybe it's just name recognition. Maybe.
Yeah, we'll find out. But yeah, the reason why I do like the hardcore mode is because it really makes it easier for you to get your long shot camos and stuff like that. Like when you're doing a camo grind, having one tap kills helps a lot.
Yeah.
It's also sometimes the most frustrating thing when you start getting them chained together, because people have learned the spawns and know where to like snipe you from if they get into a certain spot. But that's part of playing hardcore. Like, it can happen. Playlists, or Valentine's playlist will return. Fantastic.
Great.
Like, we definitely need that in the game. I did like the Christmas one. Shipment did look kind of cool. I don't know if you played it when it was decked out.
Yeah, no, I think it's smart. If it's easy for them to do, which seems like it probably is the way they're rolling these out. I think it's cool, just a little touch of thing. Ranked play. I'm going to read this for you. I know you're super excited about this.
There's one more cool thing on the playlist.
Okay. 1
week per month, Infinity Ward will be creating a Twitter poll for fans to vote on one of the week's playlists from the rotating.
And they did.
So I think that's cool.
They started that actually this past week, and I think that's how Shipment got back in the.
So Shipment came back in. I really want them to bring back Shoot the Ship. I think that was one of the best rotations that they had. So Shoot House and Shipment. Which is sad because it has nothing to do with the current multiplayer maps that they have.
True.
Like, they're not the greatest. But anyway, ranked play. Go ahead.
Ranked play. I thought this was interesting because I was reading this earlier today. It says, last week we confirmed that ranked play, a deep multiplayer experience done in partnership with Treyarch and the Call of Duty League and Infinity Ward, is coming to Season 2. What I thought was interesting is getting, of course they use all the studios, but bringing in Treyarch to work on the ranked play, I thought was just another studio, or do you think that they're going to kind of run that side of things?
I mean, they might run that side of things. I believe they're there's got to be something to it. I got to do more research on what Treyarch and the Call of Duty League, like, is Treyarch the one that's handling the Call of Duty League, like making sure the LAN works and all that kind of stuff? And is Treyarch the one that's doing the back end system for ranking? Like, are they known to be able to do the ranking systems? I don't know enough to answer that question, but I am super excited. The biggest reason why I'm excited here is that they're bringing the Call of Duty League into it, which I think this is going to be 4v4.
Yeah, I hope
if they're bringing Call of Duty League into it, 4v4 would be fantastic, but I think you're going to push a lot of players away if you run true Call of Duty League rules, because you're going to bring in friendly fire, you're going to bring in a lot of restrictions, you're going to be doing a lot of stuff that people may not really want for just a ranked play. I think what people are really looking for is a ranked play with everything standard. Like, I just want to rank myself up. Like, they don't want to play the specific rules that the pros have to play.
What people really want is ranked in Warzone.
I don't think they really want that. I think people don't want SPMM.
We already have it.
But if you bring a ranked mode in, then they have no excuse to keep SPMM in the pubs.
No, they should have two playlists. You should play pubs, or you should play ranked.
The people that want ranked is because they're only going to go play pubs. They're going to pub stomp in order to get their clips and all that stuff, and never step into ranked. Let's be honest. If there's ranked, that's all we're playing. It'll be Nick Merckx in there playing ranked. We'll go play ranked, but ranked is going to be probably squads only, or at that point. Like, is it going to be duos? Is it going to be amongst all of them? Are they going to have the player base? They're going to have the same issue PUBG had with ranked. So that's what worries me about ranked, is like there's so many things that get into ranked that become weird.
But they need ranked. They need a ranked playlist.
They need to fix the fucking game. Could you imagine all the problems that we're having right now if we were in a ranked mode where it mattered? I mean, come on. You want to see some fucking hostility? Give me some ranked and have this shit happen in the middle of a ranked game? Dude, imagine Doc going off in a ranked game from no audio. Just think about that. He's going to go off
no matter what. He's going to go off no matter what.
It'd be bigger. All right, moving on. Anyway, that's the announcement that we had for the Call of Duty stuff. More to come. Patch notes will come, and then when we get the patch notes, we'll go over that. I don't know if it'll be in a podcast or just a news update on the YouTube channel. But we will get those out to you as we find them. Moving on to today's event. We had an event today. Xbox and Bethesda Developer Direct January 2023. What did we get announced today? We kind of hinted at it in the last podcast of what was going to be there, but we actually got to see some of it here. So now it's kind of our reaction to what we saw, and are we excited about it? Are we not excited about it? What do you got? What do you got for me, James?
All right. So the Xbox Developer Direct, now if you know something about Nintendo Directs, it was very much in kind of that shape and form. What I found interesting is going over to Twitter and people freaking out. There was no Starfield. They didn't talk about Fable. They didn't talk about the next State of Decay.
Well, they obviously don't watch our podcast where we explain to them why.
Yeah, but
so Xbox... Zooch, if you're listening, don't message me asking me where the updates are for Starfield when you're not listening to the podcast.
Yeah, if you're a true friend, you should listen to our podcast.
Okay, you're not listening, or at least just download it. Don't listen to it. Just download it. Move those numbers up. Let's go. But can you believe he messaged me today and he was like, why didn't they announce anything for Starfield? I was like, you gotta be fucking kidding me, bro.
Oh my goodness.
You gotta be kidding me, bro.
He even plays seriously when we talk about this stuff.
Exactly.
All right, so what Xbox did well ahead of time, they said, we are only going to talk about Forza Motorsport, Minecraft Legends, Redfall, the new Elder Scrolls Online update, and then Elder Scrolls was going to have their own showcase immediately following. It was going to have a deep dive.
I didn't watch that, unfortunately.
And
I didn't get through that.
Then they had a surprise release today. Now it's just an indie. So HIFI Rush.
HIFI Rush, dude. I don't understand this game.
It's a lot of people have been playing it today. People really enjoyed it. It's
a rhythm action game.
Action game, cell shaded. It's kind of, it's one of those niche type games. If you like it, you like it. It's on Xbox Game Pass.
So here's when we were watching this, I was joking with the guys and gal that the whole time I was watching that event, all I could think of is someone really loved Guitar Hero and Gears of War. Like the combat style and where they're chaining stuff together. I was like, this has a very Gears of War feel and Guitar Hero graphics all over it.
Yeah.
Man.
Now I will say they stealth dropped it as soon as the showcase was over. They told you could get it on Game Pass or purchase it now, so that game is out. and is available on Game Pass or Steam as well.
Tango Gameworks. I mean, it's not like I was shocked because like that's like horror genre, not this upbeat like cybernetic rock star.
Yeah. So, really good game. For those that like that. I've been watching it today. The people that like that genre, they've really enjoyed it.
Okay, other people. We have not reviewed it. James is going to take a review.
No,
he's going to give you a review of Hi-Fi Rush.
James is not reviewing that, but people that are playing it right now, they really are enjoying it.
James we got bring you a review here of Hi-Fi Rush.
Dive into Minecraft Legends, which is not my.
Don't care. Move on.
Okay, listen. I will say this about Minecraft. I do think it's very cool that Mojang, remember they said it was Mojang, it's not Mojang. Mojang Studios. I do think it's very cool that they have taken the Minecraft IP and they've been able to make other style of games, whether it was a Telltale game that they had, whether it was Minecraft Dungeons, which is like a Diablo game, and now this Minecraft Legends, which has got a little bit of StarCraft style gameplay to it. Yes, I understand if you're diehard into those other genres, maybe this isn't for you, but you know who it is for. If you're a parent and you want to play video games with your kids, this is going to be a perfect game to play with your kids. And we'll probably dive into this a little bit on my other podcast, which is Parents vs. Gaming. But this is a perfect game for that. And you got to admit, you would play this if your kids wanted to play it. You'd be like, oh, I'll play this. You'd be okay with it.
I have no comment there.
Yeah, exactly.
Kids have better taste than this. My
but
kids play Mario.
I give them a lot of credit.
Zelda.
All I'm saying,
Kirby.
Give Minecraft, give the studio credit that they're able to take this IP and drop it into a lot of other genres.
Again, I'm trolling here. I think this is a phenomenal move that they're doing. The details were kind of interesting, like their PvP play, the way they're unveiling it, and yes, the way they've been able to take this game and run it through all of these different genres in order to bring so many people into the gaming space that wouldn't normally have been there. It's one of the largest games out there in the world, and it was a single developer that originally put it all together. Like, that is phenomenal game that you have, and it was right at the right time where the 8-bit games were hot. And it stayed. Like, it's very hard to find games like this that have the staying power that Minecraft has had, and the appeal to such a broad audience. And I am 100% trolling. Like, again, it's not my genre of game. It's not what I'm going to go play for hours and hours on end, but I do understand the level of development that goes into making whatever game you're trying to make, and the difficulty that they have, especially in a game that has this following. Because again, it's like Call of Duty. You start getting stuff wrong, you start screwing up, your community base is going to get mad at you, and they've nailed it almost every time.
Yeah.
Like, I can't think of a time where they've just been ridiculously off, where the entire community is like, this is terrible.
Yeah, no, people love their different Minecraft genres.
I won't be out there playing it, but I think it's definitely a good step forward for them. And I like any game that's going to bring PvP into it. Like, that's always fun.
That's got a release date of April 18th.
Oh yeah, there's a bet on the release dates here.
Yeah, we do have a bet on the release dates. That if a game was given a release date today, I told Ender we bet $5. I know we're poor. That they would not be delayed.
It's called a gentleman's bet.
Yeah, it's more about pride. It's more about pride. Next
I'm framing that shit. It's gonna be right here. I'm gonna put it right there.
No, that's where it's gonna go. I'm gonna have it framed every episode.
Yeah,
because you're gonna lose
again. If they get delayed, I'm
telling you, you're gonna win. Yes.
James, there's
April
no
18th.
way they're gonna get delayed. They've already delayed all these games.
Yeah. Hi-Fi Rush didn't get delayed. It launched today, so I'm already one in the books.
No one knew that was coming out.
April 18th, Minecraft Legends. Next up, Redfall.
It's easy not to push your date when you don't tell anybody.
Arcane Studios, who recently made Deathloop, was a PlayStation exclusive for a year till Microsoft bought Bethesda, and now it's ours. But ours, I say like I'm on Team Xbox, but
you are Team Xbox.
Redfall has a release date of May 2nd. It's next. I don't know. You kind of watched a little bit more gameplay than me. This looter shooter, almost Destiny meets Far Cry style co-op shooter.
It gave me more Borderlands vibes.
Okay.
Kind of deal. When we talked about this on the last podcast, I was just like, vampires? Like, really? Like, this is where we're going with it? And then I watched this, and you know what? I'm kind of excited about it. Like I'm always a fan of someone bringing in a co-op game. There's not enough of that in the space. And there was a lot to this game. There's like a character development in the game.
Yeah, it's an RPG
so
looter
you can build
shooter.
your character up, kind of looter shooter deal. You have different points on the map that you can go to that are safe zones, so you can do things there. And honestly, like I didn't think I was gonna like the style of game, but when you watch and you watch the play, I'm like, you know, this is probably gonna be pretty fun.
I'm a little nervous with the gun mechanics. We'll see how that plays.
Well, that's where I think like I can suspend the gun mechanics if the gameplay is fun.
Now, I want to pull something up for you, Ender, that I don't know if this is true. I heard this on the Xcast podcast, which is Xbox's podcast on Kind of Funny. It's the podcast they do. And they mentioned something about multiplayer that I didn't know. And I've tried to find something behind this to see if this is true. From what I understand, unless it changed today or you saw something different or someone in the comments can correct me, if you play co-op, say it's your game, and I jump into your game for co-op, nothing that I do with my character will save the progression.
I didn't hear that.
Now, if that's the case, are you still excited about this game for co-op gameplay?
Yeah,
if you cannot progress your player when you play with me. So imagine we get on one night. We play 6 hours.
If you can't, if the co-ops is, if we're both not progressing at the same time, so I don't like, I'm not sure how that's gonna work. So my question would be like, is it I started a single player game and I brought you into that single player game, or I started like a 2-player game and this is designated a 2-player game, and we always have to play as 2 to progress. Like, I think that's the determination that we have. But yeah, if only one person ever progresses based on the person that starts the game, that would be a problem. But if it's here's your single player game, you're doing that on your own, and that progression is separate, then here is your co-op with these 2 guys, and here is your one with 3 guys. Like, yeah, am I a little upset with that? Maybe, but I think it keeps the balance between.
But I don't think it's the way you're giving a best case scenario. And I don't think of that.
No, I am, because I didn't hear anything. I don't know.
Now, what I find weird about it is that they say if you play co-op and you can bring up to 4 people.
Yeah, if it's
the more your characters interact,
while I level my character, like fuck that, I'm just gonna play on my own.
But the more your characters interact with the other characters in the co-op, it develops more of the story and more of the character. So I'm very curious if what they were saying. I've tried to look into this. I don't know if this is true. I guess we can try to find that out. I'll try to get more details on that, but that's what I understand. And if that's the case, it's really thrown me off.
The game's ruined. Like, hands down, the game is ruined because that's not co-op play, really. So, like, and if you don't have multi-person progression in a game, like every game that has multiplayer does that. Like, you're way behind, and you really lost your player base there. Like, that's not what people were asking for. You missed the mark hugely. Yeah, and just make a single player game.
So let's hope let's hope that's not the case there. May 2nd for Redfall. If you have more comments or something else,
now I'm not excited. Jeez.
Hey, I just wanted to let you know ahead of time. Next up, June 20th release date was the Elder Scrolls Online update. People love this game that do play it. Necrom, I believe, is the title. I'm not an Elder Scrolls Online player. I know it has a solid player base. It's great. It's on Xbox Game Pass. People that love the Skyrim area. I think it's opening up Morrowind, I think is what it's getting into. Do you know much about
taking the players back to the Morrowind chapter? I played Morrowind a little bit, but I mean, we're going back to like Xbox. Like,
yeah, that was Xbox exclusive.
So I don't remember it that well. And I think the cool thing is the 20 previous chapters are now DLC free. Like, that's pretty badass. Like, that's a lot of content that you're gonna get free. And if you know anything about Elder Scrolls classes, they do not add new ones often, and you're getting a new one in this called the Arcanist. So I know people are gonna be super excited about that. Everyone is when there's a new class added to a game like Elder Scrolls. I was a World of Warcraft guy, so honestly, Elder Scrolls I didn't play a lot of, because at that point I was playing PC games. This was on console. I wasn't really playing console at that time, and you didn't have PC games or console games on PC. Like it just wasn't there. It was just exclusive at that point.
All right. Last one.
I might try it though because all this content's free.
Yeah. I mean, it doesn't hurt for us to jump in and take a peek at it. It's on Game Pass.
All this stuff, like a lot of this stuff is Game Pass. Like
yeah, so it's definitely anything coming out of Xbox is always going to be on Game Pass, so it's great for that. Last but not least, this is something I know you have been super excited about coming. The Forza Motorsports. Now, this is where a bet's going to get a little... I have to take some concessions here, but this is where it goes. Last summer, when Xbox did their E3 not E3 showcase, they showed all these games, and they said everything they were showing then, including Starfield, by the way, which wasn't on today because it has its own show coming up, would be released by the end of June of 23. Forza was the only game that didn't get an actual release date, and they put coming 2023. So this game, for me to win the bet, not only do all the other games have to come out the day that they put, this game has to come out before June 30th.
Late.
June 30th is the latest. Jeff Keighley tweeted out that it was going to be by the end of June. I don't know if he's just going off that 12-month date that Xbox promised, or he knows something on the inside. So
look, the one thing I know about these games is licensing deals can hold you up.
I understand.
Huge. So it takes one dealership to say, you know what, we don't want our car in this, or we want you to change something, or we're still in legal battles. Like one thing can hold it up. So for them to not give a date makes me already think we're in some kind of legal battle with somebody.
All right, now what about
which was confirmed by
gameplay?
One of our followers that the Forza 7 was removed because of car licensing.
Gotcha.
So that was why that was removed. So thank you for that. I don't remember who it was, but thank you.
So Turn 10 Studios returns. It's different than the Forza Horizon developers.
Yes.
It's
different game. So.
Yeah, different game. Motorsport's more of your sim racer. Now, what I like about Forza in the past, and I'm assuming this Motorsport's going to be the same. If you're not a sim race fan, you are still probably, and you just want to dabble a little bit, maybe you're a Forza Horizon fan, you're still going to be able to enjoy this game. Over 500 cars to collect. You can play it where they basically hold your hand. They'll give you racing lines. You can. I'm just going to say it. Dumb it down. That's what I'm going to have to do when I first start playing. They water it down.
There's
very, very
so
simple.
much you can do with a controller anyway.
Or you can boost this thing all the way up and be the sim racer of sim racers. Now, so with that being said, running at 4K 60 frames, ray tracing, the whole thing. This thing is basically built to showcase the Xbox Series X. Of course, you'll probably play it on PC.
No, I'll be playing on the Xbox Series X.
So that's what at least your progression carries over between the two because you'll have it on Game Pass. But what are your thoughts here, Andrew? You're the racing guy.
I am super excited for it. Ark and I are both huge Forza fans, and the whole time this was going on, we were watching it. I mean, the ray tracing looks phenomenal. The paint detail they're doing is phenomenal. Some of the pictures that we had of the new way that they're dealing with damage and dirt and grime buildup on the car is unique to every car. So you used to have like spots on the car that would build up with grime, but since they built it off a different car, it would be like in the wrong spot on the other car because the wheelbase would be different. 500 cars, the most cars we've ever had, 100 brand new cars to the game. So I'm super excited to know what that is because really whenever they say that, it's like we're reusing the same cars over and over again. You're not getting new stuff, but they're saying 100 cars, 20 different locations at start. That's like the most we've ever had. They're all going to be 3D rendered and mapped. So basically, a lot of times they build the tracks off of Google Maps. Really, they go on top of the maps that they build that way. These maps are actually built on them driving the maps and mapping it with surface mapping technology, which means the bumps are going to be in the right spot, the dips are going to be in the right spot. I'm super excited to like race around the Nürburgring with all this new stuff. It's going to be on the sim rig. It's going to be on the 75-inch TV in front of me. And yes, I know I should have a wraparound or 3 screens or something like that. No, I like the 75-inch. All right. It's going to be surround sound all around me, immersive, and you probably, I'll be sitting right behind here and you won't see me for days on end just sitting in the sim rig. Like I'm ready. Because all I have is a set of Corsa right now because my sim rig is around Xbox. Like it's not around PlayStation. And unfortunately when you buy all this equipment, you kind of have to choose. Are you going to have a PlayStation one or are you going to have a PC/Xbox one? So I went with the PC/Xbox, thinking I was going to hook it up to my PC. but turned out that the Xbox actually ran the games better, the Series X. So that was kind of what I was excited for. So, and I'll play in full 4K. I'm stoked. Like I really want that because F1 flopped for me, because it was just way too arcadey. The only thing that could go wrong here is if they do what GT did and they just make the progression system horrible, and the way that you have to get the licensing and the racing and all that kind of stuff. So and GT became pay to play, dude. It was just fucking pay to play. Buy all the cars, buy all of this. It was super hard to have enough money to do anything in the game if you're just racing. So don't make it pay to play. Please don't make it pay to play. And it sounds like if we're getting 500 cars at launch, it's not going to be. But we know how it all goes. They get that drop in there. You buy everything you want, and then you lose all the integrity of the game super fast. The only thing they also didn't say is how good the online matchmaking play is going to be. Because that's big. Like being able to race online and different racing tournaments and all of those things. Like right now you have iRacing, but iRacing's expensive.
Yeah.
And you have to like earn the licenses, and you can get dropped out of the league and stuff. Like here you can be a
iRacing is a lifestyle. Yeah,
you can be a complete noob, get into these races, and you can't affect somebody else's race because you really can't. Like some of the races you can't even run into people. Like it's a time trial kind of deal that you're running. So I'm excited about it. I haven't broke out the sim rig in a while. I'm looking forward to it. Like I'm looking forward to a good racing progression game. So that's my 2 cents. All right. Moving on. I'm just gonna let you talk on this one because I don't really have a point. this is coming back to nostalgia of as a kid. And your favorite thing in the world, which is Xbox Gamepass. Goldeneye 007.
Don't care. Move on.
To Gamepass. Why don't you care?
Don't care. It's a joke. I don't know I don't know if anyone's read the fine print. Of course, this is a rare game. I don't know how much control Nintendo still has on this. What I don't like about it is online multiplayer to play 4-player split screen is only available on Nintendo Switch Online. It is not coming
I just want to play the game
to Xbox. You actually like the single player game?
Yeah.
No, don't care. It's not it's gonna look old.
It's phenomenal.
It's gonna look old. It's gonna feel clunky.
It's supposed to be old.
They didn't remaster it really. They just enhanced it.
Oh my god.
I was super excited about this coming up because of the nostalgia, but the fact that you can't play I be honest with you, until a couple of years ago,
all you care about is Donkey Kong mode and paintball mode. Let's go.
Listen, I did not know. I'll be honest. Until a couple of years ago, someone was like, "Did you know that GoldenEye had a single-player game mode?" I was like, "It did."
How did you not know that?
Because all I did was go to my friends and we played N64 and we just played 4-player split screen. That's all we did.
You gotta play the single player, dude.
No.
It's phenomenal. It's great.
No.
It's iconic.
It's super iconic that we never played it.
Yeah, because I don't know what you guys were doing in your.
So I don't know why. I think that's I don't know if Nintendo has control.
Where you're going through,
nothing.
Through the
Didn't
thing,
even
you drop down and you shoot the guy in the toilet. Like you're James Bond.
No,
you literally get to be James Bond in the movie and do all the things that he does.
I played the 4-player co-op.
Are you kidding? Like,
or the multiplayer?
So wrong.
Screen peeking
and all. This is why
you're
not excited about it. This is why you're not excited about it because you never had.
I think it's something everyone's going to be super excited for the day that it launches and it's going to disappear.
That many friends. So I had to play the single player by myself. So, all right, I'm Mr. Fancy with all these friends being able to go to their houses and have all this stuff. Jeez.
Well, moving on. Then you can talk about it if you want to, but I got nothing to say.
I'm just saying, I'm excited about it because I actually like the game itself. I'll get to play it again. And Negative Nancy over here saying, "No, it doesn't matter because I don't have the multiplayer online to play split screen."
Yeah, so we can play against each other. That would be more fun.
You would lose. You would just lose.
No, because you spent all your time. You spent all your time playing in the stupid single player game mode.
It doesn't matter.
So you don't know. You don't have muscle memory. You have nothing.
We can pick up any game right now. I'll beat you. You know that.
That's not true.
You know that.
That's definitely not true.
That's the truth.
That's definitely not true. There's plenty of games I'm better.
100% true.
Any third-person game, I'm probably going to beat you at.
No, give me a day, and I'll be better than you. One day. Pick a game and
listen,
one day
all I picture is a Rocky training montage video and music going in. Ender's over there doing push-ups and he's running over there.
No, it's gonna be thumb ups. Do thumb pull-ups on my microphone. Come on. One day I'm better.
I can't with you.
Don't even need it. Calling it right now. Moving on. Oh, getting so heated now. talking about you.
Waste of development resources putting this game on. We didn't need it.
You're a waste of development resources.
Probably.
It took us 4 tries to get this started because you don't know how to hit a volume button.
Thanks. You could record it.
I did record it. My volume was on. My part of the podcast was ready. Okay.
Moving on.
You haven't changed your background at all. It still says developer.
Yeah. I don't have another background.
See out there.
Because we were gonna do a reaction thing.
Universe.
You wanted me to have
He's not prepared. I make sure we're prepared.
All you're recording is the audio.
Doesn't even try. I gave him all
the
ideas. I
give
this guy everything.
Get out of here. I built the whole overlays.
Taught him how to use his microphone. Taught him how to use his mixer.
No, you don't. You antagonize me on how to set stuff up. You say this will be great. You should get this thing. Hey, help me set it up. Watch a YouTube video like everyone else. That's your helping.
Yeah.
You don't actually help me until it affects your game time.
You couldn't even do that.
No, I did it wrong. I needed help. You failed,
so I still had to help you.
Yeah, you don't help me unless it starts affecting your game time.
Yeah.
That's why I wait till it affects your game time.
Right now, we're moving on.
Speaking of game time, you like that Tim way?
I have a problem with this. Okay. I have a problem with this. I think... Well, anyway, let's just get into what it is. I'm trying to wrap my head around this. So today, and this happened today, recording 125. TimTheTatman. If you don't know him in the gaming world, I don't know what rock you've been living under. Goes out and basically says Halo Infinite is the flop of the decade.
Even streams his or labels his stream today.
That was his label of the stream?
Yeah, I believe so, yeah.
Oh, wow. I mean, that's pretty heavy. Like, that's pretty heavy. Especially right after, we get 343 Studios is struggling. They got layoffs. You can obviously tell that some of the decisions were not made by, and we need to really start separating this because he brings this up all the time, and all these guys bring it up all the time. Is they say the devs. Let me tell you something. These devs don't have a lot of say of what they are coding. Okay? Like most of these decisions are being made by their senior leaders that know nothing about gaming.
That's okay, because just like every other streamer, Tim starts it off with, well, I'm not a dev, but...
But that's the thing.
It's always, like, no, I'm not a dev, but...
Back off. That's why the only person that I listen to right now when they have something to say about this stuff, and I don't even quite listen to him because I think he's putting on a show half the time, is Doc. Doc's actually trying to build a game. And you know what? Since Doc started building a game, his criticism on other devs' games has gone way down. Way down. Now, we all knew that the biggest thing was Call of Duty audio, and finally we got it today. They admit they have an audio issue, but it's gone way down. These devs, and I'm tired of people laying this crap on the devs. It's not them. Half the time, they're given ridiculous deadlines to write millions of lines of code, guys. Millions. It's not this giant team you think it is. It's not 900 guys typing away on a keyboard. It's like 10 to 20 that are writing the main code, because you can't have that many guys on it because they got to understand this giant code base. One change, yes, it can affect the other side of the code base. There's testing, there's regression testing. There's all kinds of shit that they have to do in order to make sure this code comes out properly to give you a game. Then you got to go to the artist. Then you got to go to 3D modeling. Then you got to go to sound. You got to go to all this stuff to just give you a game. This has nothing to do with what we're saying here, but get off the devs' junk. Okay? These guys are doing the best they can, and they're the first ones to get the freaking axe when something happens. You know, like I work for another tech company. We are so happy when people start laying off all these people because we're going to swoop them up. Because there's very limited people out there that have their skills. But just get off the devs a little bit. Now, back to the statement of Halo Infinite being the flop of the decade. Depends on what part of Halo Infinite we're talking about.
Yeah, it sucks that it gets thrown in all as one because it is not.
Because Halo Infinite was a campaign, not Halo Infinite multiplayer. Multiplayer, they missed on. They missed. They did not miss on gameplay. They did not miss on maps. They did not miss on anything that's out there right now today. The game right now today, if you went out there and ran it, is better than any other freaking game we're playing. It just hasn't been updated since it came out.
It's like they don't understand, you know, games like Call of Duty, Fortnite, Apex, they have the season pass model, and whatever 343 was doing, they do not. If you gave their game to someone that knew how to do content in the game, it'd be amazing.
So you know what? I blame all the guys that they fired, the marketing team. The guys leading the show, the guys that are supposed to be out there making these visionary decisions on how we're going to continue to keep these games together, because they're not gamers.
Yeah.
Like Phil Spencer is a gamer. And he is heartbroken around Halo because he says if we lose Halo, we lose everything. Now, going back to what they're really trying to say, I agree. If Halo had a battle royale, it would be the one that they're all playing.
Even they admit that.
Even, dude, the gunplay, the shielding, the weapons, the vehicles, just think of the dynamic crap you could do jumping off. You could have multi-tiered levels. They've already built the maps for big game battles. Just put them together.
Or use their single player campaign map.
They use the single player campaign maps. They've got this stuff ready. I don't know who in their management or decision making is saying this is a bad idea. And I would like to understand. I wish someone from 343 would come out and really explain why this is a bad idea. Why even just giving it an attempt? Because we thought they were doing that because they changed a lot of their multiplayer modes to this like weird circle mode that was closing, and they made it on some of the bigger maps, and you had multiple teams in there, 3 or 4 different teams, and it was like, okay, they're testing some stuff out. Maybe they're going to start doing this. Maybe they're looking at it. But it went nowhere. It went nowhere. And I don't like Master Chief customization. Like, dude, you could make this look amazing. The skins would be amazing, but none of that stuff matters as people would be playing it. They would just be all over it. We want Halo to be amazing. And their fact to not understand that competitive gameplay is not driving your audience anymore. It's not. You know, the days of competitive 4v4 games being the number one, it's not there. You got to get with the times. The battle royales are winning. And there was a time where you wouldn't find me on a battle royale. No, I'm not playing battle royales. That's stupid. That's Fortnite. That's baby character things. I don't want to deal with it. I don't want to do that. And even Fortnite wasn't even one of the first ones, but I didn't like the battle royale genre.
Yeah.
Because what was getting the views was the multiplayer thing. That's what everyone was doing. But it's shifted. The competitive nature has shifted. They have a great competitive ladder. Like, just please go into that. Keep all your other multiplayer the same and play the competitive game that you want to play and have that game always there as your rock. But get with the times, guys. You're stuck on Xbox. You're stuck on the original Xbox. Move forward. It's online play now. All right, I'm done.
I agree with you, though. I think it's funny because when we first started talking about Halo Infinite come out, and you and I were first starting you joined kind of the podcast team. We started doing this. You have been the whole time. You were like, no, it doesn't need a battle royale. No, it doesn't need it.
It didn't at the time though. Like
it
they
doesn't
were
need
pulling the numbers.
They shouldn't do it. They shouldn't do it.
Tim's
even before it
was,
released. Even before it released, you thought it shouldn't do it.
Because I'm like, dude, their campaign, their co-op, their multiplayer is going to be able to hold this together. People are going to go over there. They're talking about bringing the Forge back in. Guys can create their own maps. We're going to have this content. It's going to be like the golden days. They're really going to bring this back. I hate to say it. Streamers push where people are going to go. And if the streamers aren't going to play that kind of content, because honestly, streamers are looking for clips. They're looking for all the other stuff. And you don't get a lot out of that content. Like it's all been done before.
Yeah. They're also looking for what people want to watch.
And I'm not going to lie. I was still coming into this as not as versed in the space as I am now. I wasn't saturated into as much. I had the games that I liked and that I played, but I wasn't following the world as much. So yeah, I'm not gonna lie. I'm coming from a naive space there, but Tim has a good point when he says Halo Infinite's total player count is about 3,400 people right now. Tim gets 27,000 people watching him play a game. They can't even get 10,000 people playing the game. It's going to cost them more to run the game than anything else. That player count is atrocious.
Yeah.
I actually reinstalled it and was playing it not too long ago. And no joke, dude, 4 lobbies in a row, exact same teams, just shuffled in different order. Exact same players. Because the count is so small. It's so small, but it is one of the best games out there. And I agree with him. He does say, they had a golden egg opportunity to make an incredible BR experience that everyone could sink their teeth into. Halo dropped the ball. I don't think you put that on the entire dev team. That's why I hate when he says, "Oh, the devs." They're not making that decision. I'm sure inside of there, these guys are loving this game. They love Halo. They want to make it, but someone's telling them not to build the battle royale. I don't know who it is. Yeah. I don't know why they won't move forward with that, or at least just give it a shot. What do you have to lose?
Yeah,
3,400 players. You're at least going to get more than that coming back just to try it. Maybe some of them stay and play the multiplayer, and your game's doing better. I don't know. Not to say that Call of Duty's not losing players, but the Battle Royale is never going to do as bad. And also, if you look at the multiplayer, I mean, I think they have 3,000 or 4,000 people, viewing at any time. They have a higher player count, but multiplayers just don't do very well right now when it comes to your overall player base.
Yeah.
If that's what you're looking for. And then I think Halo just needs to come out and say that. Like, this is what we're going to do. This is what we're always going to do, and we're not going to do this for X reason. But they won't come out and say it. And I don't know what that is.
Yeah.
Anyway, that's all the content that we have for you today. My name's Ender. That guy over there is James. Have a good night.